BTS, also known as the Bangtan Boys, is a South Korean boy band that has taken the world by storm. The group quickly rose to fame with their unique blend of music, dance, and powerful messages of self-love and empowerment. But BTS is more than just a band. They've become a global phenomenon with millions of fans across the world, known as ARMY. This documentary takes you on a journey to understand the rise of BTS and the impact they've had on music, pop culture, and their fans. From their humble beginnings in South Korea to their world tours and record-breaking achievements, you'll learn about the members, the music, and the movement that is BTS. Once upon a time, there was a group of young men from South Korea who had a dream to become musicians. They were determined to break free from the stereotypes and expectations placed upon them, just like bullets aimed at them. So they named themselves BTS, which stands for the Korean phrase Bangtan Sonyeondan, meaning Bulletproof Boy Scouts. As they gained popularity, they realized their music and message could reach even further. They wanted to share a message of growth, not just as young boys, but as adults ready to face the world head-on. So they announced that their name would also stand for Beyond the Scene, as part of their new brand identity. This extended the meaning of their name to include the idea of growing from a boy into an adult who opens doors that face forward. BTS continued to make music and inspire their fans with a message of self-empowerment and breaking free from expectations. They are known as Boden Shonenden in Japan, but to fans all over the world, they are simply BTS, the Bulletproof Boy Scouts who have grown beyond the scene. In the city of Seoul, a young underground rapper named Kim Namjoon was making waves in the local music scene. His unique style and talent caught the attention of Big Hit Entertainment, a rising music label looking to create something fresh and exciting. Initially, the plan was to form a hip-hop group centered around Kim Namjoon, but the label's executives had a different idea. They believed a group of individual, free-thinking members would be more marketable and would resonate with a wider audience. Auditions were held in 2010, with a diverse group of young men competing for a spot in the upcoming group. They lived together and worked tirelessly, practicing up to 15 hours a day to perfect their skills. Finally, the big day arrived. BTS, as they were now known, nervously took the stage in front of a small crowd of industry insiders. Their hard work and dedication paid off, and their performance was met with enthusiastic applause. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of an incredible journey filled with passion, hard work, and global success. In the bustling world of K-pop, 3 dominant agencies held a tight grip on the industry, but one label dared to be different. Big Hit Entertainment saw potential in a group of young men who didn't fit the typical K-pop mold. They wanted to create a group that could express their individuality and have a say in their own music. Thus, BTS was born. They released their debut single album, Too Cool for School, with the lead single, No More Dream. The album didn't exactly fly off the shelves, but it made a statement. The single tackled the anxiety many young people face under the weight of high parental expectations, causing shockwaves throughout the K-pop scene. BTS was unlike anything people had seen before. They had a point of view, and they weren't afraid to take on taboo topics in South Korean society and beyond. Despite modest initial sales, the album reached the top 5 on South Korea's Jaein music chart. The album's old-school, 90s-style hip-hop sound caught the attention of music reviewers and viewers alike, and as BTS made appearances on Korean music shows, their star began to rise. They were a breath of fresh air, a group that dared to challenge the status quo and pave their own path. BTS was on a roll, and their music was resonating with audiences around the world. They released the second entry in their School trilogy, RUL82, with the single No. The album explored the pressures and sacrifices students face, a theme that was all too relatable for many of BTS's fans. Their rebellion against the establishment continued, and they kept tapping into the frustrations of Korean teenagers with the country's educational system. Their music struck a chord with young people in North America and Europe, and their fan base kept growing. But BTS wasn't just about the music, they had a sense of humor too. That same period, they starred in their own variety show on SBS, Rookie King, Channel Bangtan. On the show, they parodied popular programs like VIJ Special Forces and MasterChef Korea, showcasing their versatility and creativity. They also won several New Artist of the Year awards in South Korea. It was clear they were on the rise, and nothing was going to stop them. School Love Affair, the final installment in the School trilogy, immediately hit the top of the charts in South Korea and even appeared on Billboard's World Albums chart for the first time. The EP featured 2 singles, Boy in Love and Just One Day, which further showcased the group's unique blend of hip-hop and pop. Shortly after the album's release, BTS held their first fan meeting in Seoul, where they officially named their fan club ARMY. That summer, BTS made their US debut with a concert in West Hollywood, followed by an appearance at Kaehon in Los Angeles. They then released the album Dark and Wild, which reached number 2 in South Korea. The album's 2 singles, Danger and War of Hormone, continued to showcase the band's eclectic sound and style. The band then embarked on their first concert tour, which took them across South Korea and beyond. The group launched their first Japanese studio album, Wake Up, in 2015, and BTS held their first Japan tour after the album's release. Their tour then continued into Malaysia, and the group went on to perform across Australia, North America, and Latin America before concluding in Hong Kong. The entire tour was a resounding success, drawing 80,000 spectators across 18 cities in 13 countries. BTS broke away from their hip-hop roots with the most beautiful moment in life, Part 1. Experimenting with other music genres to capture the beauty and anxiety of youth. This began a trilogy of albums portraying the struggles of young people. The lead single, I Need You, was a chart-topping hit in South Korea and brought the group a win on SBS MTV's The Show. Meanwhile, the second single, Dope, soared to number 3 on Billboard's World Digital Song Sales chart, and its music video was viewed over 100 million times on YouTube. BTS then kicked off a world tour, an extension of their Red Bullet tour, visiting cities throughout Asia, Oceania, North America, and Latin America. The release of For You in Japanese, along with Japanese versions of War of Hormone and Let Me Know, immediately topped Oricon's daily chart. BTS embarked on their third concert tour, 2015 BTS Live, the most beautiful moment in life on stage, which began with 3 sold-out shows in Seoul and extended to Japan. The EP's theme centered on the more serious and reflective aspects of youth, such as the pursuit of success, loneliness, longing for one's origins, and the suffering of the younger generation due to unfavorable conditions in society. The album was a huge success, topping the weekly JN album chart and Billboard's World Albums chart. It marked BTS's first appearance on the Billboard 200, holding the number 171 spot for 1 week. 8 of the album's tracks also appeared on Billboard's World Digital Song Sales chart. BTS's youth trilogy came to a close with the release of their compilation album, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever. It was highly anticipated, with 300,000 copies pre-sold, and featured 3 new singles. Young Forever was awarded Album of the Year at the Melon Music Awards, and BTS embarked on a sold-out Asia tour, an extension of BTS Live, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life on Stage, Epilogue. BTS's success continued with their second Japanese studio album, Youth, which sold over 44,000 copies on its first day and reached number 1 on the Oricon Daily Album chart. The album was eventually certified gold in Japan, with sales exceeding 100,000 copies. 1 month later, in October, BTS released their next studio album, Wings, which combined themes of youth with temptation and adversity. The album and its tracks, including the single Blood, Sweat and Tears, immediately climbed the charts, topping music charts in 23 countries and setting a record for the best-selling album in JN album chart history. Wings debuted at number 26 on the Billboard 200, making it the best week ever for a K-pop album in the US. Breaking records, setting new milestones, and winning over millions of fans. That's just a typical day for BTS, the global K-pop sensation. With the release of the repackaged album You Never Walk Alone, BTS broke the record for the most albums sold in a month in South Korea, and the hits kept coming as they embarked on their second world tour, playing sold-out arenas across the United States. When BTS attended the 2017 Billboard Music Awards, they made history by becoming the first K-pop group to win a Billboard award. With over 300 million votes from their dedicated fans, BTS ended a 6-year winning streak held by Justin Bieber, proving the power of their fandom was unmatched. The world was taking notice of BTS, and it wasn't hard to see why. With their infectious music, stunning performances, and unwavering passion, BTS was truly a force to be reckoned with. BTS addressed social issues with a remake of Seo Taeji's Come Back Home, a message urging change. But they didn't stop there. BTS embarked on their Love Yourself album series, a journey through self-love told as a narrative sequence. The EP Love Yourself pushed BTS to new ground with its lead single DNA, marking the start of a new chapter in their career. The EP blended electropop and hip-hop and demonstrated the group's ability to explore new sounds and perspectives. BTS shattered records and dominated charts in 2017. Love Yourself debuted at number 7 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 1.6 million copies in a single month. The hit single DNA made history as the first K-pop boy band song to reach the Billboard Hot 100, climbing to number 67, the highest charting K-pop song at the time. Not content with just one hit, BTS's Mic Drop, featuring Designer, also broke records, becoming the first K-pop group song to crack the Hot 100's top 40. Their success wasn't limited to the US. The group made waves in Japan, with their album topping the Oricon chart and being certified double platinum, a first for any foreign artist that year. BTS also made history as the first K-pop group to perform at the American Music Awards, and they won Artist of the Year at the 19th Net Asian Music Awards for the second consecutive year. The group also partnered with UNICEF for their Love Myself campaign, promoting self-esteem and well-being among young people, and pledged money to the cause. In 2018, BTS took the world by storm with a string of impressive accomplishments, winning major awards at the Golden Disc and Seoul Music Awards and solidifying their status as global icons. Fans were also given a rare look behind the scenes with the release of an 8-episode documentary, Burn the Stage, exclusively on YouTube Premium. Their third Japanese studio album, Face Yourself, quickly climbed the charts, reaching the top 5 of the US iTunes albums chart. The BTS frenzy continued with the release of a 9-minute short film, Euphoria, Theme of Love Yourself, Wonder, which featured the hit song Euphoria, and served as a prelude to their highly anticipated third Korean studio album, Love Yourself, Tear. That album explored the pain of separation and the growth that comes from loving without being loved in return, continuing the series' story and offering encouragement to those who feel lost. BTS also delivered a show-stopping performance of Fake Love at the 2018 Billboard Music Awards, where they won the Top Social Artist Award for a second consecutive year. It's safe to say BTS was unstoppable, and 2018 was just the beginning of their reign in the music industry. Love Yourself, Tear broke records yet again, becoming the first K-pop album to ever debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200, the group's first ever number 1 album in the US. The single Fake Love became their first top 10 hit on the Hot 100, making history as the first non-English song to debut in the top 10. BTS then released their compilation album Love Yourself, Answer, featuring the hit single Idol, which included a feature from Nicki Minaj. Love Yourself, Answer set new records with over 1.9 million copies sold, a second Billboard 200 number 1, and platinum certifications for both the album and Idol. The Love Yourself World Tour was a sensation, with sold-out shows in 12 countries, including a historic performance at Citi Field in New York City, making BTS the first Korean act to perform at a US stadium. The group also collaborated with Steve Aoki on their first all-English language track and renewed their contract with Big Hit Entertainment through 2026. According to StubHub, BTS ranked second among best-selling concert acts outside the US, trailing only Ed Sheeran. By this point, K-pop superstars BTS were among the biggest names in world entertainment, but they were also at the center of controversy. In November 2018, a Japanese music show canceled their appearance after a member wore a shirt featuring a mushroom cloud referencing the atomic bombing of Nagasaki, and the Simon Wiesenthal Center demanded an apology over apparent Nazi imagery on their clothing and flags. Despite Big Hit Entertainment's apology and explanation that the images were not intended to be hurtful, The incident revealed the group's independence and willingness to express their opinions, as noted by scholar John Lai. Ultimately, the apology was accepted by both the Simon Wiesenthal Center and the Korean Atomic Bomb Victims Association. BTS took the world by storm again, winning Artist of the Year at the 20th Net Asian Music Awards and ranking number 8 on Billboard's year-end Top Artist chart. The group also placed second in the duo/group ranking, just behind Imagine Dragons. Their efforts to address social issues, mental health and politics, in a genre often dismissed as bubblegum pop, earned them a spot on Bloomberg's list of the 50 most influential people. BTS broke records and made history in 2019 with their EP Map of the Soul, Persona. They became the first K-pop act to perform on Saturday Night Live, and the album became the first Korean-language album to reach number 1 in both the UK and Australia. It also became the best-selling album in South Korea, with over 3.2 million physical copies sold in under a month. Their single Boy With Love debuted at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, the highest placement ever for a K-pop song at the time. On top of all this, they were named to Time's 100 Most Influential People of 2019 and performed at the Grammy Awards for the first time. BTS dominated the music scene in 2019 with their Love Yourself, Speak Yourself World Tour, which sold out within hours and required additional shows to meet demand. The group also became the first foreign artist since Celine Dion to sell over 1 million copies of a single, Lights, in Japan. Their music also reached new audiences through the mobile game BTS World and its soundtrack, which earned double platinum certification and featured collaborations with Charli XCX, Zara Larsson and Juice WRLD. Their Love Yourself series kept selling. Her and Tear both crossed 2 million copies sold in South Korea in August, joining Answer in that milestone. The group also received a silver certification from the BPI for UK sales, the third time a BTS album achieved that honor. With their Love Yourself, Speak Yourself tour, BTS played Seoul's Olympic Stadium for their final stop, securing their place as the third highest-grossing touring act of 2019. They also took home 3 awards at the 2019 American Music Awards, including Best Tour and Favorite Social Artist for the second year running. In December, BTS made history by sweeping the 4 major awards at both the 2019 Melon Music Awards and the 2019 Net Asian Music Awards, becoming the first group ever to do so. At the 34th Golden Disc Awards, they became the first artist in history to win the grand prize in both the physical and digital album categories in the same year. Map of the Soul, Persona was named the second best-selling physical album of 2019 in the US, trailing only Taylor Swift's Lover, and ranked 6th overall on the year's Top 10 Albums chart. BTS ended the year as the 4th highest-ranked group on Billboard's Top Duo/Group ranking, just behind Queen, Imagine Dragons, and the Beatles. The IFPI also named BTS the 3rd best-selling album of 2019 worldwide, making them the first Korean artist to appear on the global Top 10 Albums chart in consecutive years, and they were named one of the best-selling artists of 2019 for the second year in a row, becoming the first non-English-speaking act to achieve that feat. In 2020, BTS shattered records at every turn. They released Black Swan, the lead single from Map of the Soul, 7, accompanied by an art film performed by the MN Dance Company of Slovenia. The album received over 4.02 million pre-orders, a record at the time, and rave reviews upon release. BTS made history at the 62nd Grammy Awards as the first Korean act to perform at the ceremony. Map of the Soul, 7 debuted atop the Billboard 200, making BTS the fastest group to earn 4 #1 albums since the Beatles did between 1966 and 1968. The single, On, debuted at number 4 on the Hot 100, their first top 5 hit, and gave the group the most Hot 100 top 10 entries of any Korean act, with 3. Map of the Soul, 7 sold over 4.1 million copies within 9 days of release, surpassing Persona to become the best-selling album in South Korean history and the first album to be certified quadruple million. BTS had planned a companion concert tour for the Map of the Soul series, but it was postponed indefinitely due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite the setback, BTS continued to captivate fans worldwide with their talent, passion, and star power. In April 2020, BTS became the best-selling artist in South Korean history, with over 20 million albums sold worldwide. Amid pandemic restrictions, the group held a 2-day online concert event called Bangtan, sharing footage from past concerts, and later headlined YouTube's Dear Class of 2020 online graduation event. The group also celebrated their 7th anniversary with a record-breaking online concert, Bangtan, The Live, which drew over 756,000 live viewers across 107 countries and territories, the largest audience ever for a paid virtual concert. BTS continued releasing music, including the Japanese single Stay Gold, and their 4th Japanese album, Map of the Soul, 7, The Journey, which broke the record for the highest first-week album sales by a male foreign artist in Japan, with over 564,000 copies sold. BTS proved they were a global force when they released their first English-language single, Dynamite, on August 21, 2020. The song quickly climbed to the top of the Billboard Hot 100, making history as the first all-South Korean act to reach #1 on the US singles chart. Dynamite also topped the newly introduced Global 200 chart, leading both the US and non-US rankings simultaneously. The single also reached #5 on the US mainstream Top 40 and Pop Songs charts, their first top 10 entries on each. The group's talent was recognized at the 2020 MTV Video Music Awards, where they won 4 awards, including Best Group and Best K-Pop. BTS then performed Dynamite at the 2020 Billboard Music Awards and won the Top Social Artist Award for the 4th year in a row. BTS kept breaking records. Their remix of Savage Love with Josh 685 topped the Hot 100, and their virtual pay-per-view concert, Map of the Soul on E! Drew nearly 1 million viewers from 191 countries and territories. Their 5th Korean studio album, B, debuted with the single Life Goes On, which made history as the first song primarily in Korean to reach #1 on the Hot 100. BTS also received their first ever Grammy nomination and won the Special International Music Award at the Japan Record Awards. In 2020, BTS became the first Asian and non-English speaking act named IFPI's Global Recording Artist of the Year. The group also claimed 3 of the top spots on the global album sales chart, with Map of the Soul, 7 at #1, the B Deluxe Edition at #2, and Map of the Soul, 7, The Journey at #8, while also topping the newly launched global album All Format chart. BTS made another historic Grammy appearance in 2021, becoming the first Korean nominee to perform on the show. They also released Film Out, the lead single from their Japanese compilation album BTS, The Best, and hosted a 2-day online streaming event, Bangtan 21, featuring 3 previous in-person concerts. BTS continued dominating the charts. Their 2nd English-language single, Butter, debuted at #1 on the Hot 100, marking their 4th #1 song in just 9 months and making them the fastest group to achieve 4 chart toppers since the Jackson 5 in 1970. This also extended their record for the most #1 entries on the Digital Songs chart. Their next English single, Permission to Dance, also topped the charts, becoming their 8th #1 on the Digital Songs chart. Their collaboration with Coldplay, My Universe, debuted at #1 on the Hot 100 as well, making history as the first collaboration between 2 groups to debut at that position. BTS held a sold-out online concert, Permission to Dance on Stage, and played 4 sold-out shows at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles as part of their concert series. Butter also earned a Grammy nomination for Best Pop Duo/Group Performance at the 64th Grammy Awards. In January 2022, a webtoon based on the band, Seven Fates, Choco, surpassed 15 million views globally in just 2 days, becoming the highest-viewed launch title in webtoons history. The band then returned to the stage with 3 limited-capacity concerts at Seoul Olympic Stadium, drawing a total audience of 45,000 people, the largest music gathering approved by the South Korean government since pandemic restrictions began. BTS performed Butter at the 64th Grammy Awards and earned 7 nominations at the 2022 Billboard Music Awards, ultimately winning 3, cementing their place as the most nominated and awarded group in the show's history. Later that year, BTS announced a temporary pause in group activities around their 9th anniversary. Their management company clarified that the group was neither disbanding nor going on hiatus, but rather focusing on individual projects with the label's full support. The announcement caused a sharp, multi-billion-dollar drop in HYB Corporation's stock value. Fans were nonetheless thrilled when BTS performed a benefit concert in Busan supporting the city's World Expo bid. As speculation grew around South Korea's mandatory military service requirement, uncertainty about the group's future caused HYBE's stock price to fall below its IPO value. Despite a successful benefit concert in October 2022, reports indicated no further concert dates were scheduled at the time, with analysts estimating significant potential financial impact for both HYB and the broader South Korean economy over the following decade. BTS's oldest member, Jin, later confirmed his military enlistment and withdrew his deferral request, with the other members expected to follow and fulfill their mandatory service. A group reunion has been planned for 2025. Even so, the band continued to earn accolades and nominations, including multiple nods at the 2022 Net Asian Music Awards and the 65th Grammy Awards. Fans were also excited by the announcement of a theatrical concert film, yet to come, released in February 2023. BTS has cited a wide range of artists as influences, including Nas, Eminem, Kanye West, and Drake, as well as pop stars Post Malone and Charlie Puth. The band has also expressed admiration for the rock band Queen, with V leading the crowd in a Freddie Mercury-inspired chant during their concert at London's Wembley Stadium. Their song, Ma City, pays tribute to South Korean group Epic High, along with Jay-Z, the Notorious B.I.G., CL Smooth, and others. BTS also draws inspiration from literature and art. Their 2016 album Wings was inspired by Hermann Hesse's coming-of-age novel Damien. In Blood, Sweat and Tears, they reference Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra and artworks such as Peter Bruegel's Landscape with the Fall of Icarus and Herbert James Draper's The Lament for Icarus. They've also cited influence from Haruki Murakami, Ursula K. Le Guin, Carl Jung, George Orwell, and Nietzsche. The Love Yourself series was inspired by Eric Fromm's The Art of Loving, and their 2018 song, Magic Shop, drew from James R. Doty's memoir Into the Magic Shop. From the beginning, BTS has been rooted in hip-hop, a genre shaped early on by rapping members RM and Suga, who received mentorship from American rappers during their early days. Producer Bang Si-hyuk has acknowledged K-pop's debt to black music, while author Crystal S. Anderson has described BTS's rising U.S. popularity as part of K-pop's ongoing connection to global R&B traditions. According to writers TK Park and Hyunjun Kim, the Love Yourself, her track Outro, exemplifies BTS's grasp of old-school hip-hop, with raps inspired by Chuck D and Tupac layered over jazzy 1990s-style chords. Blood, Sweat and Tears marked a turning point for the group, blending dancehall, reggaeton and moombahton with a baroque, mystical quality noted by music experts. Since then, the group has continued incorporating traditional Korean elements into their music, such as pansori-style ad-libs and vocal imitations of Korean Jenga drums, notably in their 2018 single, Idol. BTS isn't afraid to push boundaries and experiment with new sounds, which is part of why they continue to captivate fans worldwide. BTS's discography is more than catchy tunes and slick choreography. Their music is a platform for exploring the struggles of today's youth, from South Korea's rigid education system to economic hardship and broader social issues. Early songs like No More Dream and Eno called for change and spoke out against generational inequality. The most beautiful moment in life, Young Forever, was billed as the conclusion of their youth-focused album series. Wings focused on mental health and criticism of the K-pop idol system, while the Love Yourself series explored love, farewell, and self-acceptance. For BTS, music isn't just entertainment, it's a reflection of the realities of youth culture. BTS has also tackled difficult subjects head-on, including politics, mental health, and social issues. Their song, Am I Wrong?, from Wings, challenged the status quo and societal apathy toward change, while Not Today, from You Never Walk Alone, became an anthem for underdogs fighting against the odds. RM and Suga's openness about their own struggles with mental health has also shaped honest lyrics that resonate with fans on a personal level. Even within a relatively conservative society, BTS has been praised for their honesty and willingness to speak out on important issues. Former South Korean President Moon Jae-in once said that their melodies and lyrics transcend regional borders, language, culture, and institutions. BTS's impact on the music industry has been enormous. Time magazine recognized their influence by naming them among the 100 most influential people of the year and dubbing them the princes of pop. Billboard executive Silvio Pietroluongo compared their influence to that of the Beatles. BTS has become mainstream, appealing to fans well beyond their core youth audience. They were the first non-English speaking artist to make Billboard's Top Artists chart in 2018 and were, for a time, the second best-selling artist worldwide across multiple formats, trailing only Drake. In South Korea, BTS accounted for 41.9% of album sales in the first half of 2019, up from 25.3% the year before. Dubbed the Princes of Pop by Time and compared to the Beatles by Billboard, BTS has helped spread Korean culture worldwide in a way not seen since Psy's Gangnam Style went viral. According to the Bank of Korea, BTS contributes roughly $5 billion annually to South Korea's economy through a ripple effect that includes tourism and rising global interest in Korean language and culture. One study found that around 800,000 foreigners visit South Korea each year for BTS-related reasons. Alongside groups like Girls' Generation, Super Junior, EXO, Twice, and Blackpink, BTS has been described as a leader among highly influential K-pop acts. Their success also highlights the power of an active, engaged fan base in the social media era, where fan mobilization can be just as important to a song's success as the music itself. The group has also pushed for less restrictive contract terms with their management company, aiming to protect their creative independence, an approach that has made them a symbol of individuality and authenticity for South Korean youth. BTS's influence has extended into international relations. Political scientist Joseph Nye's concept of soft power, a country's ability to attract and persuade rather than coerce, has been applied to the group's global reach. Experts such as Maud Quessard have noted BTS's broad appeal across cultures and political divides, making them a notable force in cultural diplomacy. BTS has been recognized by world leaders for their contributions to international relations and cultural diplomacy. They addressed the United Nations General Assembly, performed before then-President Moon Jae-in and hundreds of officials at the Korea-France Friendship Concert, and received South Korea's Order of Cultural Merit as its youngest-ever recipients. Their innovative business practices and direct engagement with fans have also drawn praise, and they received the James A. Van Fleet Award for promoting U.S.-Korea relations. BTS was later appointed Special Presidential Envoy for Future Generations and Culture and visited U.S. President Joe Biden at the White House to discuss issues including anti-Asian hate crimes and discrimination. BTS's rise has been closely tied to the growth of YouTube and online fan communities, supported by an expansive ecosystem that includes music, merchandise, games, and fiction. At the center of it all is ARMY, the group's global fan base, with tens of millions of subscribers on BTS's YouTube channel and tens of millions more following their official social media accounts. This highly organized and passionate fan base has helped drive chart success through coordinated streaming efforts and pushes for radio and TV recognition. BTS has always maintained a close connection with fans, engaging with them on social media and building an expanded universe through music videos, games, and short films that fans can theorize about and explore. The group's humble beginnings and genuine values have made them relatable underdogs for young fans, and their message of making the world better has inspired ARMY to embrace activism on issues ranging from refugee crises to racial discrimination to climate change. Fan feedback has even influenced the group directly, contributing to changes such as removing certain Korean lyrics that sounded similar to racial slurs and ending a collaboration some fans felt was inappropriate. According to South Korean author Ji-young Lee, the relationship between BTS and ARMY is a mutual exchange rather than one-sided idolization, extending well beyond the music itself. The The bond reflects a broader shift toward a more socially and politically engaged youth culture with global reach. The band members themselves regularly credit ARMY for their success. As scholar Sarah Keith has put it, BTS represents a moment where cultural production and fan influence have become genuinely meaningful and impactful. BTS has also become a major force in brand endorsements, partnering with companies including Puma, Fila, LG Electronics, Hyundai Motors, Samsung Electronics, Dior, and Louis Vuitton. As Puma ambassadors, they expanded from promoting sportswear in Korea to representing the brand globally. They've also endorsed Fila sportswear, LG smartphones, and Hyundai's flagship SUVs, and have served as global ambassadors for Formula E, promoting electric vehicles and sustainability. BTS collaborated with Dior, wearing looks from the brand's pre-fall 2019 collection during their concert at the Stade de France, and in April 2021 were named global brand ambassadors for Louis Vuitton. These partnerships reflect BTS's reach not just as musicians, but as a genuine marketing force. As this documentary comes to a close, it's clear that the 7 members of BTS have overcome countless obstacles to achieve unprecedented success. From humble beginnings in South Korea to global domination, their journey has been remarkable. But beyond the chart-topping hits, record-breaking albums, and sold-out stadium tours, what truly sets BTS apart is their dedication to their fans, their message of self-love, and their commitment to using their platform for positive change. Through their music, artistry, and activism, BTS has become a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions around the world. As they continue to break down barriers and challenge norms, there's little doubt they will leave a lasting mark on the music industry and beyond. To ARMY, and to everyone touched by BTS's music and message, let this serve as a reminder that anything is possible with hard work, perseverance, and a lot of love. As BTS themselves would say, life goes on.